Howdy one, howdy all, welcome back to Counters Casual Competition number 106. We are just about to get things started here. Definitely nothing is on fire behind the scenes. But it's all going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Everyone is in position and we're almost ready to begin our 3-round competition where the playing is honestly secondary to just screwing around and having a grand old time. It's Double Up City today. So we've got plenty of teams coming for your entertainment, and also for your entertainment from Celestial, it's Luna. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
So Luna, we'll be getting started in just a second with our first round. Hopefully, oh no, I'm getting, oh, I'm discovering a new thing which I've never even heard about before. Apparently, you need to play 3 normals before you can unlock Double Up. That's news to me. I did not know that was the case. Huh. Let me just check to see if that's the case for mine. TFT. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I did come up against that recently.
Oh yeah?
I was playing with a friend on their alt because they don't play TFT on their main account, and it wouldn't let them play Double Up until they'd played 3 normal games. I think because you spec'd, maybe it's different. I don't know, but I definitely came up against that recently.
I do apologize anyone viewing. It turns out that this is something new for us. Some people are saying it's been there for a while. It's never come up. I've never heard of it before. And people have been making... oh gosh, this is going to make a proper mess of the tournament. Ooh. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of stuff being posted in the tournament chat where I thought...
I got this.
Alright, well, I'll see if we can get some games started one way or another, because it seems like we have got several teams coming in who are having problems with being confused about stuff or just not being able to play at all. Gosh, that's a major problem if that's going to be a thing going forward, so I'm going to have to try that out for myself. Okay, needs to check if... Well, I suppose there's no need to check if new accounts need to do this, because we've already got people saying that is the case. Huh, that's going to really damage the ability of the tournament to bring on new people.
Oh no, I just remember, yeah, we've got another player on a brand new account, don't we?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is weird because this didn't come up before. We can't join from EUNE. Wait, what?
No, I think that's made pretty clear.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's like, oh gosh, it's like half of the field have got various different problems. Either they are on new accounts which apparently don't work, or they're playing from different servers, or they're trying to run this from non-double up lobbies, which doesn't make any sense, but sure. Oh, I see. Right. I see what they're saying. They're saying that they can...
Yeah.
They've got alternate accounts they could use from. Okay. Just to make a note.
We should make a list of all the issues we come across today, and that way we can be ready to fix them.
Apparently, there is a rank lockout on Double Up for accounts that haven't played 3 games yet. This is really bad for Double Up tournaments with players coming in from new regions. Is there any chance that could be taken off? There you go. That's me leveraging that to someone who's not involved in that whatsoever. So the chances of that actually materially doing anything within like 6 months are almost zero. But I've used my Riot contact to complain about it, so he'd be like, that sounds annoying. And I can be like, well, now everyone feels better. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna see if we've got anybody. Let's see if we can fulfill the basic requirements of a tournament and have some games which we can maybe spectate. As creative an idea as that might be. Wait, what? That's new. Wait, is the spectate broken?
Oh, please no. Not again.
I didn't even think... So, like Daedalus. No, sorry, like Icarus. I became complacent in my wax wings. And I was like, I don't need to keep checking that the spectator isn't broken. Because why would it be?
Question. Do we just tell them to go into a normal lobby, or do we steadfast hold, just use a double up lobby?
The problem is the scoring system doesn't really allow for it. Ay, ay, ay.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
Wow, that's hey Pills, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, this is already awful in every regard. Oh boy.
Let's try another player, and maybe we can spectate them.
Yes, I'm looking and seeing if okay.
Oh, it's working now. It's working now. Big. We're getting somewhere.
So I know from a stream watcher's point of view, honestly, if we can just get a game on the stream, then none of the other stuff matters. The fact that the tournament is literally in flames and falling over like a Tower of Pisa.
We can sort that out on the side.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, we've got a game. That's the important thing. We've got to mentally separate out, is the tournament completely broken versus is the stream completely broken, and we've fixed half of it, which, based on IKEA manuals, I think that means that
honestly, we're there.
We can stack our computer on top of this half-finished desk and still be like, you know what? I'll fix it someday.
At that point,
not today.
At that point, just don't build the desk. Just keep it all in the box. Put the box down and put your computer on the box.
Yeah, we'll use the box as the other half of the table, and at some point that box is going to crumble away and our computer will fling off the side into the abyss. But until that moment, we will enjoy ourselves quality, half-built desk stuff. All right, so apologies for anyone watching who's been unable to play. I've flagged that with my Riot contacts. Whether or not that will get changed anytime soon, I don't know. I might hold off on running any double up tournaments until I'm got it confirmed that has been fixed, because that's pretty bad. I don't know whose idea it was to make it so that worked the way, but we've got a game, so let's get into that and hope for the best, eh? Alright, we're in. We've got a B on our faces, and we're into our first round of play. So we are, let's see, where are we? We're in the Black Villain, Ich Bin Batman. We're in lobby 2. So we have the, let me just send this to you as well. Luna.
Okay, Smuggy.
I'll put this in our caster chat. We've got Wolves of the Eclipse. That's Nightcore and Drafu. We've got Dark Duo, which is Black Villain and Ich Bin Batman. We've got I Like Birds, which is
TV Forecast and Staff Chiro.
Yes.
I think.
Sorry, the stuff is formatted in a really weird way, which is what's confusing me. And we have our last team, which is Nail and
Had to pull out.
Kadash, who are
Because
not
of
playing.
the restrictions.
Yay!
Yippee!
Honestly, at this point, friends, I'm impressed we've got one lobby running with any amount of players in it whatsoever. Alright. Then let's start going around. Let's see if we can talk about some TFT at least a little bit. We know that, let's see. So these are the Wolves of the Edge. We've got a start here for Mighty Mech, and for Nightcore Johnny, we have got a reroll sniper crew board, which I'm really excited to see how this one goes, because this is one of the newer additions to the TFT Pantheon, using the crew's reroll ability to just reroll everything but the crew.
Yeah, it's interesting, honestly, to allow yourself to be able to kind of hit one and then just go to the heavens and not be locked out of some of your lower cost units, while also being able to, 3-star everything else.
Alright, let's see what else is on the line. Well, sorry, we'll come back to it in a second. We're coming to this one a little bit late. So of course we're double up. This is a prismatic finale lobby, so our players will be, as we'd expect in double up, will be generally stronger, but our late games will be absolutely ridiculous off the hook. Let's check in with Safachiro and Forecast then, who are a pickup team here today. We talked a little bit about the Star Guardian vertical being hit as of the most recent patch to make it more favored towards playing in a more shallow way. But Safachiro has got the Star Guardian emblem, so might just still decide to go for full vertical, even if it's a little bit weaker than it was before.
I don't think it's necessarily as weak as it has ever been either, is the other side. I think it is still fine to be able to get going, especially if you compare it up quite nicely with things like Sorcerer, because you can get slightly more out there carries than you normally would. Normally we'll see Jinx, we'll see Seraphine, you could see the Ahri from time to time, but if you can get other things going, I think you can still make a vertical work. That being said, it's a very big tempo game. You want to be 3-starring a lot of your 3 costs where you can, just to 2-3 costs, just to be able to keep yourself up with the rest of the lobby where possible.
Yeah, we saw from the yellow team, I think honestly in double up it feels like you without a custom interface, just calling them by their colors is going to be a lot less confusing than anything else. But you saw from the yellow team side of things there, they did have a Darius brewing, so I'm with you that massive single target damage from something like the rerolled Ahri would be great. But let's see what Forecast has got as a complement to this vertical Star Guardian. It looks to be, oh, interesting. So you've just got the Shojin, patience is a virtue. And I thought for a second we might be seeing some kind of Lux reroll, but it seems to be that Forecast is just playing strongest board for now.
I don't dislike it. I think trying to spec into early heavyweight plus Juggernaut really sets you up for being able to match up to a lot of the earlier boards. That being said, with only a 1-star Lux and a Shojin, the ability to win alone isn't really there. But of course, Juggernaut, it'll make you tanky enough. Heavyweight will add to that as well. You can buy enough time for your friend to come, and that's honestly probably one of the better strategies for double up in the early stages. If you don't really know what you want to do, or you don't really have an easy way to pivot, it's just commit to a good front line, allow your friend to pop up and win through teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to work particularly well, especially with the patience is a virtue, to allow for Forecast to have more going long term. Remember, of course, Prismatic Finale means that we will be seeing a big tail end. Let's check in with the dark duo of Ikbin Batman and Black Villain, because we've got Mighty Mech here, and we're actually seeing one of the new power-ups which came in as of this patch, the Drift Duo. So, Luna, we're still in the kind of discovery phase here somewhat with this setup. That, if you've theoretically, you can go for a full reroll of all illusions, and as we see here, the double up makes that much more likely. So now if we can get a 3-star Senna as well, that will give effectively a Mighty Mech Heart and allow you to access Mighty Mech 7 ahead of schedule.
Yeah, being able to skip out on the late game necessity of Yone to allow this to come forwards is incredible. Because being able to not only find, all of your carries, get them up to in-star levels, so normally that would be Senna, Karma, the common ones we see if we ever get Mighty Mech Vertical. Being able to not have to go to 9, 10 to be able to find the Yone and get him set up would be an incredibly big benefit, because, as we know, Protocol Level 2 for the mech is no laughing matter.
And we can see that, with the Lucian 3 being in place already for Ich Bin Batman, that means there's a lot of power as... Oh, I wonder if we might see Precise Shot coming in from Black Villain. We're back with our crew reroll. Crew reroll. We've already seen we've got the 3 sniper in place already. We'll have 5 sniper by the time the game is done. And despite Malphite taking a hit to his survivability as of the most recent patch, people thought that would maybe bring him down a peg, but it doesn't seem to have materially affected things too much, especially again in this double up environment where people are accelerating these kind of rerolls so much. Even just sending across 1 extra unit means you're getting the 3 stars so much quicker.
Yeah, and with how strong carry all of the snipers are as well, it makes it so much better, right? Like, we've seen, what was that? I think it was Juggernaut carry with Mundo as your main tank. We've seen Jin be main carry in Wraith comps. We've seen Varus as you get into the later stages. Sivir is often your primary physical damage dealer in crew comps. Jinx has been a favorite carry of Star Guardian since the beginning of time. The only sniper that isn't really considered one of the main carries of their comp is Caitlyn, and that's just because of how strong the other units in Battle Academia truly are.
Well, so far so good for Team Blue. They're both winning off the previous round and reinforcing each other. Let's keep an eye on how the rest of things going. As you see Nightcore... Oh, wait! I think I confused things a little bit. We actually...
They're doing the same thing.
So we've got Black Villain and Nightcore Johnny. Yes, I confused it because it's exactly the same board as each other.
I see.
Okay. Interesting.
There is one bright side to this. Most of your carries come from the 1 and 2 cost pool. And there is plenty of champions in those pools to have multiple 3 stars in the game. Plenty of them, in fact.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it's going to be necessarily a major issue. The only thing it seems to have slowed down for both... So, just for clarity, just making sure we've got everyone in view there. So it's Black Villain and Nightcore Johnny who are contesting each other. Both of them look like they haven't managed to hit their 3-star Malphite on regular speed because of contesting each other. And I suppose the big thing for both of them is, while both their teams are doing well, it is going to delay that power spike of getting that free reroll every turn that you would get from otherwise 3-starring a Sivir and Malphite together.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal. I've always thought something else that's really, really interesting as well, otherwise. I think they both ended up with Pandora's bench, or Pandora's items as their second augment. So it's really going to be who can hit quicker is going to take this lobby over. As we hit the second carousel, it's just going to be, what do you prioritize? Champions or items? Depends on what you're running a lot of the time. If there was a Sivir there, you know full well Black Villain would be looking for it.
Oh, for sure. And I really like your point about the Pandora's items as well. Of course, with this being double up for anyone who's not familiar, you can see along the bottom here that we've got the ability to send components between players. So Pandora's items is incredibly important to be able to give each other what they need, as Johnny will be the one to hit on at least somewhat on schedule. Black Villain is still stuck at 4 Malphites, so close to hitting Sivir. It looks like we've kind of got opposing things here. Nightcore Johnny with the Malphites, Black Villain with the Sivirs.
Yeah, with that Gnar already completed as well for Black Villain, very, very comfortable in current setup, especially with that Jhin being itemized as well. Could definitely look to hit onto that one very shortly as well, if this Sivir comes in reasonable time.
Let's take a quick look at what the yellow team have got going on. Since I believe these are the players who are not from the tournament itself, but of course they can still affect the outcome of the lobby. So we've got ourselves...
No, the yellow team, yes, they're not with us, sorry. Brian.
Yeah, so we've got here a Kai'Sa reroll, which looks like it's been doing relatively okay. Not too many stacks as yet, but a good setup. And Meta Sandwich on the other side with a Protector setup. I'm assuming, although we can't see it right now.
Fan service.
Yes, that would be my assumption as well. Let's see.
It is, I think, Edgelord setup, Star Guardian setup, Protector. Definitely the fan service setup that we've been seeing rise in popularity a little bit in the last patch or so.
So let's see. So, yeah. Oh, so this is a problem here for Meta Sandwich, is while we've got a good setup, we've got, investment strategy, we've got extra gold with the Reigning Gold, so we're kind of building up our board strength, is we don't actually have fan service as of yet. So even with the second fruit coming in, this board is missing a lot of the power that it should be having.
Yeah, most certainly is. And of course, you only get the snack remover once at the end of every stage. So you really do need to hope you hit it early to make this comp work. I've been in situations where that really hasn't been the way the game goes on a couple of occasions recently.
Yeah, I assume the Meta Sandwich must have been trying for the fan service and just missing it again and again, which I can't help but think that maybe the power-up fruit system is a little awkward in that kind of regard, that you can't guarantee anything ultimately in a game. But we'll keep an eye out for Team Yellow. They may continue to plumb out if they can't put their boards together. But let's go check out our pick-up team of Forecast and Sapphire. So we've got the Soul Fighter in here for Forecast. It looks like we're working towards Viego, or at least for the time being, Viego carry, who can do a lot of good work as long as he doesn't get focused down too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Viego, a very good secondary carry for the Soul Fighter set. Of course, traditionally we see Samira. I have my own thoughts about Samira. I won't share them right this second. But getting the Viego setup, very, very solid just for early ability and very nearly level 8 as well for TB Forecast. Really going to be able to start to hit onto this late game Soul Fighter board if RNG is on their side and finds them an early Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, I like the item setup we've got here. We've got, of course, we've got the Patient Study from before. The Magic Roll just for more general resources. I kind of wish that we had a Soul Fighter emblem for this Volibear, but it looks like that's not on the cards. Instead, we'll see a little bit of a roll. We have had Twisted Fate in for a little while here. He's been played 2 rounds so far. Looks like, Oh, well, we have found that early Gwen you're calling for.
Now we just need the forecasts, which don't want to present themselves. Both Set and Samira completely unseen here for TB Forecast, and that is an unfortunate situation to be in at this point.
Yeah, that really sucks. I mean, considering that this has been Team Pink's plan for the game, they've had the Patient Study in place, they've been trying to get ahead of the rest of the lobby, who are pretty damn reroll centric. So getting to level 8 and not hitting your key units has got to really hurt, and it's going to cost them even more HP. As Nightcore Johnny gets the hit, Sapphire loses as well. Team Pink, they could be in major trouble.
Definitely could. Sapphire running that Mighty Mech setup, still only sitting on a 1-star Senna. As our Prismatic Augment comes in for everybody across the board. That Prismatic Finale could break this game wide open, especially for Nightcore Johnny and Drafu sat at the top of the board with so much health over the rest of the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, particularly we saw the Golden Egg coming through as an option, I believe, for one of our lower HP players. But if we see anything similar from our higher end players, then they can continue to dominate. We see Nightcore Johnny up at the top part of Team Purple, hitting the Sivir 3, finally here at 4-2. So it's taken a while. But let's go and evaluate. So we've got Invested coming in. for even more rerolls for Nightcore Johnny to try and put the final parts of the board together. And for Drafu, their teammate, they've managed to push together. Let's see. We've got Samira in here. It looks like we've got a legendary soup ball coming in from Drafu.
Yeah, just trying to set themselves up for something here. Opted to not hard invest into this.
Oh, it's a bronze for life board.
Mech. Oh, so it is.
I completely missed that Orgrim was there the whole time. Okay, so, well, if we were looking for just bung every powerful unit in possible and call it a day, then this is it.
The Samira has been found and is very, very happy on the item setup for TB4 cards. I just saw that at the end of that round. Opted to drop the Lucian, I think, there.
Ooh.
For that Mighty Mech board.
All right, well, let's go and take in what everyone's got here. So, where do you want to start here, Luna?
Let's work our way up. So we're on TB forecast already. So we'll work upwards. So yellow team are non-competitors, still looking for the fan service setup. Struggling a little bit here. Spirit Sword going to be what the Zaya's sat on currently, and with no remover until the end of this stage, things could get very dicey very quickly because this comp kind of really does rely on picking up that fan service to be able to have Zaya match up to the damage of a lot of the other carries we have in meta at the moment.
Yeah, we can see it's just not good enough with some of the boards we've got coming together. Their teammate is the Kaiser player, and they also lost after this round, so I think we can put them aside for the time being. So we come on to Carousel. We do see, of course, Varus, Yone here on Carousel to help push some of the power of these late game boards.
Yeah, should definitely allow for a little bit more strength. Black Villain opting not to pick up that Varus. Instead gonna grab the Yone.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising. I thought we were going to be seeing the Varus being crazy prioritized, given that we've got two different sniper boards in play, but maybe they don't anticipate being able to hit the 2-star anytime soon. But alright, let's keep working our way up.
Yeah, so I like birds, our pickup team. Safachiro sitting on this Star Guardian board, making a solid amount of room with it, no less. Looking for that RE carry, has the Jinx set up with items as well. But without hitting some of these higher star units, and only the 1-star Nico, Zaya, Kabuko, and Poppy, really going to struggle against some of these already more set up boards, I'd wager.
Just want to take a second to recognize Meta Sandwich finding the 3-star Zaya. Yes, isn't using their secondary power snacks. I presume that's because they want to hold off for eventually finding their fan service, and they don't want to burn that unnecessarily. But yeah, let's work our way up. So so Star Guardian 8 is not good enough to take out Nightcore Johnny. Forecast with the Soul Fighter 8 is also not good enough to take out Black Villain. So we've got two big verticals here, both reinforced by some pretty solid late game augments, but both falling short at what could easily become the final hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely. That 2-star Poppy, it's going to do something, but it might not do enough. So we see the Unstoppable picked up there for the Poppy and the Ramping Rage on the Jinx. I'd almost want to see that moved onto the Ahri at this point. Just pivot your focus a little bit. Instead, going to stick with the Jinx.
Ooh, yeah, it's not ideal, is it? You can, of course, bear in mind, with the latest patch, the Star Sailor, a little bit less powerful now that the Star Guardians are less good later on. Decides to take it anyway, but you're right that this situation is awkward with Safachiro. We've got 1-star Jinx, we've got an unpower-upped Ahri trying to do her best. It's not the setup you would be hoping for. It might just be good enough. It's dicey towards the end, but Safachiro will get reinforced by Forecast. That Samira will do the job and clean the board.
Just about able to keep themselves stable with both of the pink team winning their round, dropping the health difference at the top lower and lower. Here is our Lucian Mighty Mech board. I was getting confused. There's the Yone has come in. Who have they skipped? Karma. Still no Senna 3-star, but the carry setup is there for both Lucian and Senna. If you can find that 3-star Senna, you get to skip out on Karma entirely here.
I mean, that's got to be huge for the... I mean, we were talking about before that it would be ideal to be able to not need to find Yone, but the problem for Igby and Batman, of course, is there's only 3 Sennas in the mix. Black Villain has not even got any to send on the bench, so maybe that dream of hitting the 3-star Senna and getting that extra bonus Mighty Mech will have to wait for the time being. It looks like we've got the Karma to force it to happen regular style.
Yeah, that puts Sorcerer on the board. This Lucian just got a big power-up again. You see 3-star Arcana on the board as well on the side there. Johnny sitting on all of those snipers 3-starred bar this Jinx, as well as that Malphite, really, really comfortable in his power. That being said, the Mighty Mech setup might just be too much with everything on the board. Such a tanky front line with this mech, and the back line is rinsing through.
Yeah, those snipers do need to rely a lot on some quite low-cost units, as we actually see Team Blue, Black Villain, and Igby and Batman, aka the Dark Duo, moving into pole position. So we've got the Jhin set up here, and everything else is expected, and then the Mighty Mech. It feels like, in combination, these two are very, very strong. Talking about the frontline power, you've yet to get the Jarvan up to 2-star. You know, maybe we get the Senna up to 3 stars, so this board could get noticeably stronger before this game's done.
Certainly could. That being said as well, you can take... opting to just drop the upgrade here, or the augment here for the Senna Lucian in favor of just finding board power. And I like that. You're not in a situation where you need that anymore. You've got every single Mighty Mech setup ready and waiting for you.
I do love the irony of immediately upon slipping out of the duo power-up, the Senna starts showing up in the shop to say, "Remember me?"
Yeah.
But you're right, I think in the immediate, it's just not going to happen. So I do like this from Igby and Batman. They know they've moved into pole position. They know they've got a chance to put pressure on the rest of the lobby, and taking the power-up that gives you power right now makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, most certainly does. So they drop back into second with, I believe, Black Villain struggling to win out on that round there as well. Still not on that 3-star Malphite. Still looking. Still trying for something, anything.
Let's pop down to, well, Team Yellow. It's looking like they're going to end the game without ever finding the fan service. So, unfortunate for them. Team Pink, though, are in trouble. This is our double vertical players. It feels like there's a lot to like here. We've got Jinx up to 2-star, but maybe it is just a situation we're in here where the raw power of the late game Star Guardian board has just taken enough of a hit that this isn't able to deal with everybody else. We'll go up against Team Yellow in this round. If both of Team Pink don't win, then they could be out of this game just as quickly as Yellow seems to be.
Certainly could be. The Darius ends up on the back line and just gets absolutely one-shot. Does have the 3-star Rammus, does have the 3-star Kai'Sa. And the Kai'Sa setup, as I've seen a couple people call it, it's strong. It's very strong. Wait, they actually have a second life as well. They went down to 1 naturally. They didn't get saved by overkill. Whereas Safchiro and TB Forecast did.
Oh, you're right. I completely missed that.
So they've actually got an extra round in pocket.
There is a Soul Fighter emblem, but decided not to go for it in the end with the... See, so Drafu... Let's see, Drafu was running the... Okay, I think just wants that for a bit of extra power, but... Yeah, this is very bad news for Team Pink. They put together good late game boards, but it just doesn't seem to be working. And now Team Yellow may even surpass them in the standings. Do bear in mind, general viewers, that we will ignore the randoms in the standings overall. You see Forecast saying, "I'm sure you needed that emblem." But it's looking possible that Team Pink may be knocked out before hitting top 4, even slightly.
Yeah, it'll be by an inch. Still no fan service for this fan service board setup, however, but it is strong enough to survive on its own, as we're seeing on a bit of a win streak here. The 3-star Xayah, the 3-star Rakan, itemized up exactly as you'd want them. Secondary tank on the K'Sante. More than happy in this situation, I'd wager.
We'll see if Team Pink's able to send it. One loss, as you pointed out before. They're on Elimination Station, up against Nightcore Johnny in this round. At least in this case, it doesn't look like Jinx is being overwhelmed immediately. We have got Star Guardian 9 in place, and it's good enough in one case. It's good enough in the other. Luna, both of Team Pink stay alive, but both of Team Yellow win as well, which means that we still don't get Elimination Station for them.
That is incredible. We're just seeing a complete flip-flop of the board here. Both of our 1 health teams winning against the double digits health teams. And that's not where we expect this to go. I mean, when you look at the boards that are here, they actually peak quite, they're relatively low, other than this Starguard or this Soul Fighter board, right? The Gwen, the Sett, the Samira, they're all quite late game units. That's where you hit your peak. But Star Guardian really doesn't get much better after Jinx. Seraphine is very good if you can get her 2-starred and itemized, but it's only so good as we see our Soul Fighter board come up against the Bronze for Life setup.
And
there's the issue with Samira. There's the issue with Samira. TV forecast going to be sent home here, and with both of Yellow Team winning, it's not even by a hair.
Oh boy, yeah, it feels like line selection was a problem here. That, in theory, I think the Soul Fighter we saw was extremely popular in Double Up, but the Star Guardian just didn't seem like it had enough punch behind it. I am impressed by Meta Sandwich managing to make the fan service board work without fan service, but we'll see if it's good enough to get a top 4.
Time will tell. This lobby has gone from being astronomically differential in health to within a round of each other. If either of the top 2 teams take a hit here, they will go down and match our Yellow Team on 1. And with that backup health in play as well, we're not on elimination situation, very happy to just sit and do whatever is needed to just try and get the wins in.
But it's looking like Team Yellow might still be an issue for the rest of the board. So we did talk a little bit about how our 2 sniper players, Johnny and Villain, got slowed down because of contesting each other, which has taken some of their, influence in the lobby away from them as they've taken longer to come online. I believe Johnny managed to hit the 2-star Varus and itemize them, as we will see up against Ikbi Batman, whether or not Nightcore Johnny's board is now good enough to compete with the full late game setups.
It's a lot of damage coming out of this mech, however, that entire backline kind of just got a little bit rinsed. This Lucian still alive, but the K'Sante on the backline. We now see it's a battle. Never mind, it's not a battle. Meta Sandwich happy to knock Drafu down a little bit there. And they're still not on elimination. They're still winning.
That is craziness. So we've got, let's evaluate our situation. So we've got Team Blue on elimination. We've got Team Purple 1 round away from potential elimination. We do have 2 2-star Twisted Fates in place here for Drafu. I mean, this Bronze for Life board feels like it should be good enough. But we'll see. Up against Meta Sandwich, this is do or die time for Team Purple. They've got a chance to at least put Yellow onto elimination.
That they do. And this Varus sitting on the board here, Fishbones, Blue Buff, Eye Edge, going to be doing a lot of damage. We'll see if the Xayah can make her way enough. It doesn't look like it. But with reinforcements just about arriving, Blue Team have gone out in 3rd. Yellow Team were able to survive long enough. And this will put them on elimination level. But they've managed to make top 4.
Wow. That is absolutely nuts. Alright. Well, at least we have now seen them be put to elimination station. Team Purple They didn't lose off the previous round, so they've got effectively 2 lives as Nightcore Johnny hits level 10. It does seem like they've got the tools they need to take the lobby.
Yeah, absolutely does. There is so much going for them here. This sniper board, incredibly strong in and of itself. Combine that with the Bronze for Life board on the other side, it will take a bit of a miracle for the yellow team to take this lobby at this point.
The Drafu Doom Barrage? I didn't even remember that was a thing. Alright.
Nor did I.
I don't mean, I guess it doesn't come up very often. So, alright.
I was going to say, how often are you putting your power snack on your Varus?
Well, in this case, we've got the Bronze for Life board. It's looking like the power level should be dramatically stronger. Several attempts being made on Varus's life in the backline. But ultimately, I think even if that had gone through, it wasn't even going to be close. Team Yellow are all sorts of out of there. And Nightcore Johnny and Drafu will win the entire thing. Congratulations, that was a little close for comfort, one might say.
Yeah, definitely dropped down in comfort towards the end of the round there. But it was still a very entertaining lobby.
Ooh, absolutely. I mean, it's always nice when you can kind of feel like Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Counters Casual Competition. We'll be kicking things off once again for round 2 in just a second. I'm just going to grab ourselves all of the business for that one. Let's see, so double up, double bodies. Round 2 is here. I think things have gone a little bit wonky in the way it's been displayed, but because we've had a couple of drops from the first round, it's now been compressed into, it looks like 3 full tables, so hopefully everything is good to go. Pairings can be found above. Start ASAP. Latest at 50 minutes. Please ping if you need to drop. Gosh, so okay. Luna, welcome back. I think hopefully we'll be able to get round 2 to start in just a second. I'm going to do my best to grab ourselves some of the results from the previous round and bring them up on stream if I can. And hopefully we'll illuminate what other nonsense has been going on in the tournament. But you know, if people weren't here for round 1, what do they miss?
A very close game, in fact. It didn't look close until right at the end, where we saw that fan service does not in fact need fan service in order to effectively happen.
No, it's very, very strange. On one of the other lobbies, we've got the Udyr abusers, I believe, or something to that effect, in place, who were running one of the options here, which we didn't necessarily fully expect to see, which was actually regular crew vertical along with the Udyr reroll. The Book Thief bringing out the newly quite heavily buffed Ziggs to great effect.
Yeah, showing just how strong that a crew vertical can be when you really put your mind to it.
It looks like, yeah, I mean, reroll was pretty popular in that lobby, with the top 4 spots all occupied by various different forms of reroll. We got the Nico Bastion in there, and of course the, it actually looks to be a Wraith setup from Hurricane. Bellori, you didn't even get input into the spreadsheet? What? That's news to me. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking. There's a team that are in a table on their own.
That's Gamba, sorry, that's Gotham Joyous who were dropped from the tournament, so I don't know what that is with. Wait, Bellori, which team is Bellori? That's the Bozos.
The Bozos.
Yeah, Bozos aren't showing in round 2. Let me just try that over again. Let's see, is there a reason why that might be the case? Bozos are still showing as being set up. Oh, wait.
I see.
Okay, my apologies. I think I confused you with a different team and accidentally dropped you from the tournament. That's no good. Right. Let's see if we can fix... Okay, I must have gotten very confused when I was doing this one. Apologies. Let's repair that round then.
We stand up with a team on their own.
Yeah, wait a second. That shouldn't be possible. Alright, that's definitely a mistake. Okay, well, I'm not sure we can do a huge amount about that. So, repaired the round. It's still apparently a little bit broken.
Yeah.
Just check. It might be that this is... I will flag this up for our admin to look at.
Oh, that might be doing it. Table 2 has 2 teams input at third. for round 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That might mess things up. Let's try that round again. No, I don't. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that would necessarily will change anything. Okay. It looks like so. Normally, there's a kind of a piece of technology in place to make sure that each of the tables are spread out in the right kind of way. It looks like this has maybe been broken by a couple of teams leaving, and it's not sort of reapplied this whole table sharing idea for the second round. So apologies to Inkiesta and Cammy. I think for the time being, without dramatically changing what we're doing and doing the whole thing out manually, Inkiesta and Cammy, you'll probably just need to play your lobby by yourself, and so you'll get an automatic first place from second round. But I'll let them know that's the case. For clarity, they are currently the bottom team in the competition overall, so hopefully it won't be massively affecting the outcome of the competition. But it's one of those things that we've got a system that until someone does a particular thing in a particular way, we don't know that it's broken. So
yeah, it's unfortunate.
Okay, I think everything else is not broken though. So Blurry, thank you for flagging everything there. It was a combination of things being broken and my brain being broken as well, that I completely unticked the wrong team, which was your team, and left the team in that already dropped. Luna, while we wait for round 2 to get underway, because it'll be a few minutes as our players kind of find themselves, would you mind telling the good folks about the Celestial brand and what's going on over there at the moment?
Certainly can. So earlier this year, I, alongside a good friend of mine called Cliff, decided to start up a amateur, relatively somewhat low-level esports organization, competing to allow players that maybe aren't as good in league to compete at a slightly higher, slightly more coherent level. So anywhere between gold and the low levels of diamond, we have teams covering all 4, called Celestial Esports. So far, competes in Valence League, for those of you who are aware of that. For those of you who aren't, it's a low-level, like semi-amateur, for fun tournament that is free sign-ups, no prizes at the end of it. It's just for a bit of fun, allowing people of slightly lower ranks to play competitively. Aim with Celestial is to be an inclusive and kind of enjoyable environment for everybody, to give people the chance to play in controlled play if they so wish, with the option of maybe going into low-level ERLs or other amateur leagues in the future, as well as maybe branching into other games if there is interest for that as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really good org and, idea. Certainly, I know it's true for both of us that coming up through grassroots, if that kind of grassroots whole thing just doesn't exist, there's so many people who just go on, they just go on and just do other stuff. Like, you might have you can imagine how many fakers and things have just decided to go do other things because there's no ladder to bring them up into a decent level of competition that they can start from.
Yeah, I mean, on that point, in fact, it's not just players that we look to help build up and facilitate. We run streams for all of our games, which happen Mondays and Thursdays, so we help up-and-coming and kind of aspiring producers and casters to get a little bit of experience and find their footing as well. Maybe pick up some contacts. We've got a mix of experienced casters and new casters all looking to get involved. I mean, we've got people like Counterfeit and Deadly Ghost, who have been around here a lot, as I'm sure people are aware. We've also got some lesser known names, people who are just looking to put their foot into casting, maybe try it out for the first time. And at the end of the day, it is helping people find what they enjoy, whether it's playing, casting, producing. If they wanted to do content, that would also be an option, right? Like there is so many different things, and I think allowing a platform to do that that is run by some people that you trust or know to a relative degree, that are open and that is inclusive, is very, very important.
All right, so I think let's see if we've got any people who've gone ahead of the curve and are starting the games as of yet. Oh, maybe. Okay, it looks like Nightcore Johnny from Table 1, maybe? Yes. Okay, it looks like we have got a lobby coming in, so that'll be a couple of minutes out. So, let's take a chance just... I'm just going to send you the link again, because I'm going to bring this onto stream just because I want to highlight. This is something that for any of our players who don't know about it, it's very useful. This is not sponsored or anything, but Meta TFT have got a double up section on their website, which I don't believe anybody else has as an option. So it's worth noting here kind of some of the stuff in which they are tracking specifically. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so you can see our faces. Hello, it's us. Wow. Wow. So what we can see here is that what we saw the Samira board being played from before, though didn't ultimately do super well. We talked a little bit about how the reinforcement mechanic can make that easier. One thing I don't believe we've seen as of yet is the heavyweight Malzahar board, which is a different approach to that coming in. Where previously it was more focused around the Supreme cells and trying to make sure your Darius had all the damage. Now bringing the secondary carry of the Malzahar to allow that to be, you got a big wall of beef with a heavyweight, and then you can use Malzahar to just eventually kill everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong option that you can run. I think it's a different pace, because normally with Supreme Cells we see Akali or Kai'Sa be the bigger kind of carries that we see built towards, whether it's surrounded by protectors or by that Rammus, that Kai'Sa comp that is just below the heavyweight Malzahar. So seeing something that allows Darius to work is definitely a breath of fresh air.
Alright, well, we'll see if anyone goes for it this time round. We're heading into round number 2 in Counters Casual Competition number 106. The Sensations, reigning champions in this lobby, up against TFT Sound, the Book Thief, the Udyr Abusers we saw from before, Nightcore Johnny and Drafu we saw in our previous lobby, rocking out the hilarious late game boards, and Zozo and Belluri. So we'll see who is able to take control, as we do see something interesting from the beginning of the game. Ethereal Blades, or Twilight Assault as it's known now, being picked up by Nightcore Johnny. It looks like will be played immediately though.
That's sad. I quite like Twilight Assault. I think it's good fun.
Well, let's have a look at the changes for that one. Okay, it doesn't tell us on here exactly. Let's see if it tells us on here. Oh, interesting. Apparently it doesn't show us until it's actually on the board. Either way, ran it.
There we go, because it's your strongest Shen.
Yes. So the Shen, let's see what they go for here. Max Arcana could be kind of interesting. Ramping Rage would seem like it, fundamentally is it going to be a good augment. And it will be Midas Touch that's taken instead. I guess trying to get the economy online early on.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Being able to execute and get a win streak going makes a lot of sense. Although, that's a Kai'Sa that's already sitting pretty. Although, true damage says no.
And the reinforcement as well. So, Nightcore Johnny's got the Twilight Assault. Drafu has got solo leveling. Oh my gosh, solo leveling with a fan service Rakan. And already has the Xayah on bench. What a start here for Drafu.
Holy. That's incredible. Not only is the fan service set up on the less likely member to get it. It's also, you're sitting on solid items for each of the main champions main units in this comp setup, with a Giant Slayer for the Xayah and and
the Archangels, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Good lord.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is an incredible start here for the yellow team. Again, the Midas Touch and the fan service board. Let's take a look at our reigning champions. So, got the Caretakers and a Bastion set up. And for Shelby Sensation, we mentioned the Pandora's items as being strong as well. It looks like, oh, this is the Kaiser board from before, though it's taking a little bit of a nap for the time being.
Yeah, Bullet Hell Kaiser. This Rakan, oh my god, this Rakan! He healed so much, so many times. That
is nasty as anything.
That's incredible. I'm terrified of this Rakan, and I'm not even in the game. The Kaiser comp has Bullet Hell, so will really become a force to be reckoned with as we get later on, but of course Kaiser is a scaling unit, does have to start getting those last hits on enemies. Really wants to just get to a point where she can start to rinse through front lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, with the scaling champions.
Reminds me very much of Remix Rumble Yasuo.
Oh gosh. What did Remix Rumble Yasuo do? I have no recollection at all.
His ability would do damage and would gain stacking AD if he executed. Was basically what it was.
So, I mean, I guess that's sort of a universal concern, isn't it? Like, that if you've got... You kind of got a couple of different sort of callings on you there, where you've got... You want to be able to... let's pull up the board while we talk about this. Ideally, you'd like to be able to stack up early, and we've got a lot of slammed items, but you'd also need to preserve money to be able to eventually reroll and get your 3-star online. So Shelby Sensation for now is stuck at the 1-star version of the Kaiser, up against Drafu's board. I mean, this is a lot of single target damage. Maybe this is the thing to knock down Drafu, and it will be. So that's only 1 stack, but we've got to also bear in mind the stacking will count on reinforcement.
Yes, it will. Able to really kind of get the Kaiser stacking going if you can win your rounds quickly and go to support. Although only sitting on 2 Kaisers is painful.
Yeah, so we'll see if Stevie has gotten anything. I love that they've actually changed their names to Stevie and Shelby Sensation now from before, when it was previously, I believe, just Stevie. Or even might have just been Steve. But they are fully sensational. I think from Stevie's side of things, we're not seeing very many slammed items. It's maybe, we've got the Mighty Mech for the time being and the Caretakers to indicate that we're going to be pushing levels. But Stevie's really not presenting the strongest board right now, maybe hoping to just run out rounds long enough for Shelby to come and reinforce.
Yeah, and I mean, if there is any round that can run, it is this one, although, as we've seen on several occasions, the healing coming in from this Rakan is terrifying.
Well, Kaiser can do it once, maybe she can do it again. The Archangels has stacked up a lot more than they would have had previously. Of course, stacking items in double up can get really out of control, and this time it proves too much.
I never thought I'd see a day where Rakan did so much damage.
I mean, today is a red letter day, definitely for Drafu. Let's check in on the team overall. So we've now out of solo leveling, which means we can use the fan service. Well, once we get the second power up through, but we've already got 1 fan service in place, so that's going to be the 300 health and 16 armor and MR. Let's see if I've done my maths correctly. Yeah, I think that's right. And once we get the second fruit in place, then we've got a massive spike of power to go, and we're almost at level 6 already, thanks to having so much extra XP from that solo leveling.
Yeah, it really kind of allows you to save your econ in the first stage. Of course, normally you'd level up to, unless you just skip out on that quite effectively.
The draft is looking good. Nightcore Johnny hits level 6 as well. This is with the Twilight Assault. I keep wanting to call it Ethereal Blades. I think that's what it was called before, if memory serves. But we've got the Ginsu's in place. Midas Touch has been here to push the economy, as we discussed from before. On the other side, though, Bellari has also got the Gain the Edge, so it's also going to be taking Shen's out of the pool. And presumably also contesting with Drafu for Zayas as well.
Yeah, very likely. Edgelord setups, never been my favourite, but can definitely make work when necessary, although Twilight Assault, especially in the earlier stages, that true damage really does just spell disaster on a lot of situations. On that note, and speaking of spelling disaster, I'm unfortunately going to have to jet now.
Well, thank you so much. I'll drop the Celestial Esports into the chat and onto the server as well, in case anyone wants to check out Celestial Esports for LOL Leagues. If anyone wants to check that out. But Luna, thank you so much for coming in on short notice.
Pleasure as
I
always.
hope that the rest of your day goes amazing.
And you, best luck to everybody still competing.
Alright, so let's settle in for the rest of the day. It'll just be me on my lonesome. So Bellari contesting with both members of Team Yellow feels like a bold choice. I think this is also a fan service board. I don't see that going especially well. Bellari does have more opportunity to get out of this one. I think that's maybe what they're going to go for. Perhaps with an Edgelord vertical board, having found Samira extremely early, this does open up that window to maybe just say, you know what, I'm going to try and maybe even just go for a regular Soul Fighter board and use this Edgelord power up as just a way to make the Samira that tiny amount stronger. Up at the top, Team Yellow look like they're doing pretty well. Jafu will be able to get through this round with, I want to call it Ethereal Blades. I'm still getting it wrong. Twilight Assault. Why is it Twilight Assault rather than Ethereal Blades? Your guess is as good as mine. Jafu. The fan service board seems to be okay. Not maybe as fast as it could be, but we've got the 2-star Shen, which will make a big difference. And I imagine both of them are going to be hard re-rolling on the 2 costs. Luna, thank you for the luck. Martinism, let's go as well. What is that icon? Gears of War Superfan. Neat. So Team Yellow, they're looking pretty good right now. But bear in mind again, that TFT San is also... Wait, Star Power? I don't think I've even seen this organ before. Is this one new? I don't recognize having ever seen that icon. Star Guardians with a power-up grant in 150% increased Star Guardian bonuses. So you're pretty much forced into running a Star Guardian vertical board for that to be a meaningful bonus. But funny Jinx early on for TFT San, this is fascinating. This team, the pink team, they've been very heavy on trying to reroll before. And the army building, or rather team building in the silver version, certainly seems to indicate that they want to go for a reroll again. So I'm surprised to see that augment coming in. But let's take stock of where we are. Zozo and Bellari, the blue team, down at the bottom. They've got the heavyweight board, which looks like it's going to be a Mighty Mech board later on, with Drift Duo. And Bellari with the Twilight Assault board. Yes, I definitely remember how that one works. Oh, Martinism, if you like to... Yeah, the tournament Discord is where this tournament is being run out of. My personal Discord is for more when I'm casting that I'll post in there. Right, so let's check out Zozo. So we've got the Drift Duo set up. We are close to Lucian 3. We already have Senna 2 in place. We notice the increased mana regen and a good item setup, honestly. We've got the Death Blade for Senna, which is generally pretty popular considering that she will be getting execution later on. Or the option to go for the Last Whisper as well, though we've got an Even Shroud, so much less necessary. I like what we've got going on here long term, though. So let's jump out of here and check in here with Book Thief. How on earth have we ended up here? We've got 3-star Caitlyn. So we somehow... Oh, we pocket recombobulated to a 3-star Caitlyn. That's crazy. Love that for the Book Thief. Really, really fun. And a very creative use of the, I think, often neglected augment there in probably its best case scenario to find a sniper as well to allow for Book Thief's board to stay intact. Oh boy. It was a big gamble, but it pays off. How close are we to the rest of the board? Not super close, but I mean, not a million miles away either. This isn't a lobby where, like before, we're seeing, you know, this particular line being contested, so should be able to get online fairly quickly. TFT San, the contesting fan service player, I have to imagine this is a temporary stop. There's no way that with this augment, this is going to be a fan service reroll. Surely. But hey, what do I know? The reigning champions, the Sensations, with a Mighty Mech Vertical, it's looking like so far, and the Kaiser board are bringing everything together. I was going to check if that was Corrosion or lineup. Lineup just to buy a lot of extra time for the Kaiser. And I'd imagine, yeah, we're going to be, I don't know if we're going to be going for Colossal here. No, just for Tankzilla. Okay, I don't mind that at all. We've got a lot of frontline, and we buy ourselves an extra 1.5 seconds with a stun coming in for Kaiser to eventually kill everybody. That's going pretty well so far, and with Bullet Hell, it's a reliable game plan for the Sensations. Let's check in at the top of the table instead then. Nightcore Johnny and Jafu losing in one round, and maybe losing another. Unfortunate that the Zaya is going face to face, but it's good enough. So our two top teams lose one round apiece. Jafu with the fan service board is relatively well in place, picking up the rolling for days to allow for just a little bit more reliable access to the Rakan 3, which is a massive power spike. The problem for Jafu, knowing that this is a lobby where they are contested, and even the edgelord part of it is contested as well. They're going to have to make some hard decisions of whether to try and roll down to get ahead of the contesting player, or just to ride this one out and maybe take a lot longer to put the Rakan 3 online. Zaya 3 is in place already, so Rakan's getting the full benefit of fan service. It's the other way around that we need to be concerned with, as I right-clicked on the screen and tried to pick up that goal, because I'm so used to doing it. I think Drafu's in a good spot. Picks up the Kaiser too, interesting. As Nightcore Johnny finds Swain 3. Is still a little way off of getting the Shen online, but so far so good. Has got, yeah, the team building will be coming in a little way down the line, so I think the yellow team can afford to sit back a little bit. They've got the most HP in the lobby. They've got time to find their comp, even if it takes them perhaps a little longer than they might have liked otherwise. Jumping Sensation from the Sensations should continue to clean up with the fan service boards being a little bit weaker than they should be because of the contest going on. This opens the door for Zaya, especially with a little help from our friends, to keep this streak, or begin this streak, and allow for Steepy Sensation to be strong as well. Down towards the bottom, TFT San and the Book Thief, who were running what seemed to be a really fun setup from before. Let's see, so the fan service of TFT San won't be so good. Power of Friendship, surely not. Surely not. You've only got minimal Star Guardians. Oh yeah, there we go. Know Your Enemy makes a lot of sense because we are seeing a lot of the same units being played. Book Thief with a 3-star Caitlyn. Interesting, and with Piercing Sight. That's not what I would have necessarily expected to be safe, but a little bit more damage in the mix. Book Thief, at this point, yeah, is very heavily motivated to just move to a standard Battle Academia board, because you've got a 3-star Caitlyn already. Why wouldn't you want to do it? You know, you're not going to be able to ever really make a super powerful, you know, regular crew reroll board, because honestly, why would you want to spend that much time trying to make that happen when you've already got one of the biggest components. Of course, the Caitlyn 3 being this early on is going to be an absolute nightmare for backline-centric compositions like Shelby Sensation's got going here. Did get lucky to have that first bullet, and the second bullet blocked as well. By all rights, this Kaiser should have been taken out early on, but instead Book Thief takes another L, and their path through the game remains unclear. Looking at the big picture of the game overall then, we've got two different teams, Team Pink and Team Blue, who are both around 40 HP. Book Thief feels to be struggling a little bit, I think because TFT-san is still one off of finding Rakan 3 and is a million miles away from finding Xayah 3. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I hope we get to see TFT-san switch to a Jinx-centric board long term, as Xayah is in place, but I just don't think... Well, we've got this... Oh! I'm going to retract everything I just said, because I am super wrong. We've got, and I didn't notice this before, two lesser champion duplicators on the side. So TFT-san only needs to find one more Xayah, or even their teammate needs to find one more Xayah, and then the Xayah 3 will be online. So I retract everything I was coming up to say there. But it's still going to be difficult in the short term until that last Xayah arrives and the full board power can be unleashed. Both of TFT-san and Book Thief losing, both of Bellari and Zozo losing as well, means it's dire times for our teams on lower HP. There's no Xayah on this carousel, but Book Thief does find a very early and very potentially powerful Varus. Long term, the Caitlyn board absolutely can run Varus in combination with a Cassante, kind of as their way to top out the board overall. So maybe this is the chance to leap up and go further into the board and late game potential than there might otherwise be. I think the awkward spot for the Book Thief here is that with Caitlyn 3 already in place, you really don't want to be rerolling for Jace by himself. So moving up to level 8 does find the Leona. That's immensely important for the ability to get up to 7 back Academia. We are missing the Yuumi. I think we could have another choice. Yeah, we could potentially make it pre-Yuumi, but instead going to rely more heavily on the sniper power and Wraith as well in play with Varus coming in. Right now, for TFT-san and Book Thief, it's all on whether or not the Caitlyn can clean up the board. On the other side from Nightcore Johnny, we have got the Shen Hero Augment just absolutely wrecking face. He's up to 3-star and is nightmarishly strong. Twilight Assault. Yes, I finally got it right. Yeah, I mean, this is just absolutely crazy, and with the piercing sight as well, means that you've got true damage coming in as well from the late game version of this Shen board. It's absolutely scary as anything. Their teammate on the other side, oh no, sorry, their teammate, sorry, I just misclicked the wrong person there, with the fan service board, again, is a little behind schedule, as it looks like, interesting, why are the Caitlyn's being taken? Oh, I see what's going on. Lenora, welcome to the stream. This doesn't happen a whole lot in the casual competition, but it's happening here and now. Drafu is actively griefing the board of Shelby Sensation, the Sensations being our reigning double-up champions. So if you were going to grief anybody, it would be them. But we see not just, you know, one Kaiser being taken, but we can see on the other side, there we go, get confused, 5 different Kaisers being held to try and stop Shelby Sensation from getting the 3-star online. W finds number 6. There's no ways to cheat in additional Kaisers here, no lesser champion duplicators, as TFT-san will finally find Xayah 3. At least they're not on elimination zone yet, but it feels like it was a unwise move to try and contest the fan service line when you get this far behind. But hey, We'll see if Book Thief and TFT San can bring this one back. I love the lesser recombobulator or pocket recombobulator board setup and trying to make this one work, but Book Thief needs Leona 3 desperately. Right now, I'm not optimistic about Team Purple's chances of staying alive. Zozo with a Mighty Mech board just needs... Yeah, it doesn't have the Lucian set up here to be able to cheat in Mighty Mech 7. So is going to take a pretty heavy loss here from Johnny, who, as we said before, has the most ludicrous version of the Twilight Assault board. This should pretty much rip through anything very quickly. That Swain is a Thrain 3 as well. So he's just an absolute rock on the defense. And Zozo, it's not a horrific loss, but it will be a loss nonetheless. Book Thief goes down to Elimination Station with TFT San. It's looking pretty bleak. As Zozo and Blurry, they actually take a loss as well, which means that 4th place is really up in the air. It will come down to who loses by the biggest amount ultimately. Book Thief has got to go all in here to try and find the last parts of the board. Does get Leona coming in by delivery there. It's almost the last parts of the Jace 3. We've got a decision to make. Jace 3 comes in. Leona 2 comes in as well. That's huge. Do you switch across the Battle Academy 7? I think probably not. TFT San, you've got everything you could hope for. Protector 4. Zozo does at least get a little upgrade in power, but never finds the Yone for Mighty Mech 7. And Bellari gets Viego 3 in place. We'll see them go face to face against each other. Drafu on the other side with the solo leveling and absolutely titanic Ricardon, who of course will move into place. Bellari in major trouble. I don't think it's got a chance of surviving this round. Zozo on the other side is getting ripped through, and it's looking like Team Pink are going to survive this one, both of them winning the round, which means they both stay alive, while the blue team lose both of theirs, and they are our first team out. I think another stark reminder of how dangerous it can be to pick up these trait augments early on, especially if it's for a composition that, as we saw here, is likely to be contested, as fan service absolutely is. News from the purple team: Shelby Sensation hits the Kaiser 3 that was being aggressively held before, I think, by Drafu. So that's a big step forward in power, though. With the 3 stars being hit in 3 different ways from the Shelby Sensation, it's a power spike that's been on a delay, but it's all hitting at the same time, and that's going to be huge. So this is Supremacy Darius, which means his execute is better, and Bullet Hell Kaiser, which means that her spread is better across the team. TFT San, one of the Pink surviving members, will be facing down this newly enhanced Shelby Sensation board, and I don't think it's going to surely even be a contest, though it could be wrong. Rama stays alive in the corner, but no, TFT San is gone. Book Thief, we'll see if they win through the round, and they will not. We have 2 teams down, 2 remain. Shelby Sensation winning the round. Stevie Sensation, I think, is about to win as well. That Kaiser, and now finally at 3-star, is strong enough. And we have our final pieces of the puzzle put together. Nightcore Johnny and Drafu against Steve and Shelby Sensation. This one is going to be likely for pole position in the entire tournament. Drafu and Nightcore Johnny are the Wolves of the Eclipse. Gosh, what a great team name. I do appreciate a melodramatic team name when it comes to these things. Stevie Sensation making use of the Socialite, which has been nerfed a little bit from before, but I'd have to imagine it's still likely very good. Rise as well, the Mental Rise being nerfed as well, means a step less strong than it would be otherwise, but it's still a very, very good board overall. as the Socialite will be spread around. Nice bit of evasion. We'll see how it does against the Twilight Assault of the Shen. There's a lot of raw DPS, and Senna will be able to reach out and hit the Shen early on. He's got the Hextech Gunblade, so he won't be likely to be sniped off with any kind of reliability. The raw DPS, though, it's good enough, and we can see that Shelby also won that round. So both Team Yellow, despite having a massive HP advantage, are still in trouble. Let's see what we've got going on. We're going to see a little bit of a power-up reconfiguration. So stretchy arms in place for the Shen. Now we're going to be powering up with standalone for our friend Swain to try and make sure that rock stays in place and doesn't fall out of favor too quickly. With us being down to our final 4, it's going to be a little bit trickier. Note the positioning of the Darius as well. It should mean that a lot of the chaff units get cut down fairly quickly. Darius on to the Swain, can see how much damage he does. He cuts through so fast, and even with the extra defensive power up, it's going to be too much damage, and the reinforcement coming in as well. It would be one thing if the Wolves of the Eclipse, Team Yellow, were winning winning one of the rounds, losing one of the rounds, but currently they're losing both, and that doesn't represent too much hope. Let's talk a little bit about the extension potential for these boards then of the Yellow squad. Drafu doesn't have a third item on the Xayah as of yet, so that's absolutely vital. This is just Scuttlepuddle rather than Crowd Brave, so we're not watching for anybody to potentially get eliminated or anything silly like that. But we are looking for that third Jinx item, which should push the power... Sorry, Jinx item, third Xayah item, which should push the power of this board dramatically. We don't really need a Last Whisper. Giant Slayer, I suppose, probably is going to have to do. Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe we're just going to reforge the Even Shroud. That's a shame, because Even Shroud on Cassante sticks around for a really long time, so it's not ideal. I wouldn't have hated seeing the second Giant Slayer coming in, but Drafu has that power spike. Nightcore Johnny, I'd imagine, is picking up an extra item for the Volibear. Yes. We'll see if Volibear can be the difference maker. This feels like the matchup that Nightcore Johnny has got a better chance of winning, but Swain just doesn't seem to be able to hold up as a main tank at all. And we've got Shen left by himself. He cannot tank. That's one down. Drafu is not even close to winning their round, so it's not looking good for Team Yellow. Apparently that last round was not enough to turn anything. Nightcore Johnny, though, does hit level 10. We have got 7 Bastion in, and now we've got 2-star... Yeah, the 2-star Luchador in place as well. I think maybe... Gosh, you can tell my brain just went completely blank there. Braum maybe could be switched over to being the main tank instead. We saw that the Swain was really just not up to it. Tankzilla, I don't think it's even going to go off. That's 15 seconds before it does anything. We'll see. The big difference in this round is we have got 3-item Volibear chewing his way through the corner very slowly as both sides of the board evaporate. We'll see how they go face to face. Yeah, the Swain gets deleted pretty much immediately. Volibear will last a tiny bit longer. The Swain did buy a little bit of time, but it didn't make a difference, and both members of Team Yellow take the L. Our reigning champions are looking pretty good. Steve and Shelby Sensation, they won the last double event. They are on course to win a second, well, to go into the final round of this one as the presumptive champions back to back. 3-star Yasuo coming in is going to be absolutely massive. He's an Executioner 5 Yasuo, so he is going to be getting in and deleting people. Mentor is active, so he accesses all areas, and having the Edge of Night as well means that he just can't be gotten rid of with any kind of reliability. This is such a nightmarishly good board. We'll see if there's anything that can be done. I think we might have seen a little bit of a reconfiguration on the Drafu side of things. Let's see if we actually have got some pretty good hits landing. The Shen is hitting their priority targets, and it worked! For the first time in a long time, the yellow team get a win against the purple squad. And while Drafu does take an L, yellow team, they can breathe again. They finally managed to start getting back to a position where they could conceivably win. The entirety of Team Yellow come out first and find themselves a couple of good tank items. Shall we? Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The sensations, because of the way Double Up works, once we get to the final four, it just lets out an entire team by itself. And in a carousel like that, which didn't have very good items on most of its units, that's a major, major advantage. So let's see. So we've got Swain itemized with our Warlocks from before. We've got a much more appropriate Sterak's on the Volibear. So this is looking good for Johnny. For Drafu, we've now got Cassante fully itemized as well. Alright. And we saw an arrival a little too late of some kind of upgrade. Last round, both teams took an L. If yellow team takes an L here again, then they'll be on to Elimination Station almost certainly. I'm starting to think that maybe the tankiness is outpacing the DPS, but no, Drafu takes the L. Nightcore Johnny does get the win. No, he barely misses out the reinforcements. I think Team Yellow are just about good enough to be able to win 1 out of 2, but that's not good enough. Yes, a 7 Bastion. It is weird, I do agree. I'm not really sure where we're going to be seeing anything else coming in. Maybe another Star Guardian? What have we got? Sorcerer Crew? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the obvious one to be taking out would be the Garen for something else, but ultimately he is a 6 Bastion Garen, so I guess it's quite hard to find a naked unit without traits that would be on paper better than that. Maybe a second Braum instead. I don't know. Maybe if we get a Braum 2 that would happen, but there's not enough time. The Sensations are on 2 lives. Team Yellow, the Wolves of the Eclipse are on 1. Neither of them can afford to lose. I'm going to watch Drafor because I believe that they have the weaker board overall. It's not fully itemized, but it will be going straight onto the Darius. But Darius deletes him, and that means all the DPS is gone. The Sensations win the round and win themselves a first place in the tournament overall. They are the only undefeated team in the competition right now, which means they will be favorites going into the final round of play to not only win the competition, but to go for a clean sweep and back-to-back tournament wins. That would be absolutely outrageous. We're just having a quick look to see how the rest of the field is developing right now. I think we've still got a lot of results to come in. So let's see if we can grab any games that are actually going on at the moment. Let's see. Safachiro is still playing. Let's see if we can grab their game. Okay, we're being a little bit of a delay. But whew. Oh boy. Ah. And while we're waiting, of course, our thanks to our friends from Northern Legends for supporting today's competition. There will be extra prizes coming in from them. They do also have the... Let's see, where did they post it in the end? Did they end up posting it in the other TFT tournaments? Maybe. So Northern Legends, if you're in the UK, Northern Legends are having a meetup in Manchester. I'm just going to go check when that is exactly. So we're going to jump into another one of the ongoing lobbies while we wait for this round to tie up. Let's have a quick look. The Manchester meetup is on Saturday, 21st of September. I am not going to be going up to Manchester for this one because it was very expensive to get to the London one for me from all the way down in the southwest. So not going to be doing that one again. Or at least not going to be doing that until it comes back to London. But it was a really good time. I definitely recommend it for the future. And hopefully that will eventually materialize itself into being a, maybe even a live finals or something similar to that longer term. Okay, that one is done. I'm going to see if we can grab any other games. Welcome back one and all to Counters Casual Competition. It's almost time for our final round of play. Before we get there though, let's take a quick look at some of the other lobbies that be happening across the tournament in round number 2. So here we are seeing Marco and Ricardo, the Tango Dangos, who honestly, as far as the team theme goes, y'all are doing an absolutely amazing job running the more standard setup here with the reroll for all of our snipery friends, as pretty much we expected to see, along with rerolling for Radaro, not on the same cost of reroll, but certainly in a similar kind of vein with going for the Kaiser and Darius setup. It's all very standard over here. I do want to shout out for Ikbeam Batman though, bringing the Kale reroll in and managing to pair that with a Twisted Fate 2 is no mean feat. So congratulations on a very well played game. Keeping an eye out on all of our players and to make sure we keep ourselves ready for our final round to begin. This seems like a good a chance as any, as we'll just take a quick look at one of the other lobbies, this was the no, I think, wait, was this the one which we saw from before? Or no, yes, it's just a very similar setup. So Forecast going for the standard Zaya and Rakan board, and Safachiro bringing out an interesting combination. So this is the variant board for the Kaiser with the Rammus in place, that you can reroll alongside our friend Darius instead of going in. Yes, the BIS Darius being blue buff and the heart alongside the Infinity Edge. It's an interesting choice, Ace. I agree with you. But, I mean, apparently it works, so who am I to say anything? Let me just pull up the scores as well. Don't know how well this will display on stream. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh no, okay, scores aren't displaying the way they should be. Never mind. I will see what I can do about that. Because I suspect it's going to be... Where are we? Where is our scores working out from? It's going to be on... Oh, there we go. Yes, I had the wrong scores open. My apologies. Zero current scores. There we go. Let's hide that one. Bring this one back on again. There we go. Enhance. Enhance. Okay, this didn't quite work. But we can see right here that the Sensations are only undefeated team in the entire competition, with Tango Dangos and Wolves of the Eclipse coming in joint second with 1 first place and 1 second. Ace, you're going to start at 0 again. Well, that's very generous of you to offer. I think we're going to have ourselves a really tight final lobby. The Sensations, they're looking to clean sweep the entire competition. If they can do so, then that will be the most dominant way I think we've ever seen somebody retain a title. So, it should be pretty fun. I believe we're going to be having our games kick up in just a second, so let's take a quick look around. I don't know if we've got any lobbies we haven't looked at as of yet. I think there might be just one more. Let's see. Results. We saw one. There were 2. No, that's right. I don't think we've got any more to account for today, so instead, I'll just poodle myself. I don't know, actually. I'll stick over here. I'll leave a big weird space to the right-hand side of me. But let me see if actually I can get some quotes from our final goats. Let's see. Stevie. Final lobby friends. Can I get a quote from each team and a prediction of your finish. So if you're in table 1 and you happen to be in the chat right now, or if you're in the Discord actively as well, please do let us know who you think is going to be winning the entire thing. So again, the Sensations, completely undefeated so far. Tango Dango, so that's Marco and Ricardo, in second place, joint with Wolves of the Eclipse. We saw Nightcore Johnny and Drafu playing before. And then the Dark Duo, Black Villain and Ikbin Batman, I believe will be our team coming in and filling out the rest of the final lobby. Larry, gotta win those games. I think the Sensations especially have got a target on their back. So with the tiebreakers being as they are, I believe that the tiebreakers of coming in first place will be very good for the Sensations. If they go, say, third, I think there's more possibility of having them be shifted. For Tango Dangos and Wolves of the Eclipse, if either of them take a first place, that will be their second first of the competition. And then I believe the tiebreaker, if memory serves, it's been a while since I've said it, will be the most recent result. So the Sensations could still miss out on being champions here today if they can't get the job done in the final game. Honestly, probably the best case scenario for the Sensations if they don't win is that Dark Duo win, who will have much worse tiebreakers than they do, and the Sensations may still win overall. That's a lot of stuff to remember, but I suppose the biggest takeaway is come in first place if you want to win. Anything less than that may well not be good enough. We have got ourselves an 80-second delay and then probably another 30 seconds before we get in. So, oh, this is a good chance as any to... I'm going to use the very ill-used, but sometimes still worth doing. Let's see, let's start a prediction. Who will win round 3? I'm going to make a prediction as to... oh, is that gonna... No, that's probably not gonna work out very well. Let's see, the Sensations, the Tango Dangos, Wolves of the Eclipse, or the Dark Duo. So this is going to be a prediction for who's going to win the third round, not the tournament overall. Tournament overall. And you've got 15 minutes to get your predictions in. We've got about 1 minute until we go through and actually jump into the lobby with our friends there playing in table 1. So if you've got some channel points to burn and you want to be able to, I don't know, use them for all sorts of other silly things, then that option is available for you. I don't think I'm allowed to actually predict. No, I can't predict it in my own one. So I think if you put in the channel points for your own team, I think that's a good secondary source of motivation to make sure that you go full ham here in our final game of the day. Let's jump in for that last game and see who will come out of this one victorious. Black Villain coming into this one with an attack of the giggles. Outrageous. But it's still what we'd like to see. I think in this case, actually, maybe I can stick myself in the corner. Yeah, why not? Have myself as a little... streamer cam. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, and let me flip that one over as well so it looks like I am looking at the game. Brilliant. Alright, well this makes it marginally more interesting to look at. So again, Steve and Shelby Sensation. They are the ones most in a position to try and win this. And interesting, the heroic grab bag coming in immediately for Shelby Sensation. I think very much aware that last time round, contested on the Kaisers, doesn't want to see that happen again. I was kind of curious to see if we'd see one of those duplicators being burned early to make sure that the Kai'Sa was actually stacking from the beginning, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. Right now, Dark Duo are the only ones in for the prediction. We've got 12 minutes left to stake your channel points against the Dark Duo, aka Black Villain and Ikbin Batman. If you are a member of the final lobby, do make sure you get something in there. I see someone... Oh, there we go. We got something coming in for the Sensations as well. Every team has the potential to win this final lobby. Martism, you prefer watching double ups to 44? I do think that currently double up is much more understandable than 44. I am doing my best to try and see if I can do anything about that being the case, but certainly the stuff on the right hand side makes it a lot easier to tell what's going on. And also double up is a lot of fun. I'm really hoping at some point double up competitions will become much more of a thing. Unfortunately, I haven't come across many of them. Right now we've got 300 channel points on Sensations and 3,000 on the Dark Duo. I think you would be in position to make some probably pretty reliable channel points if you were to go after the Sensations here. But let's go and take a stock of where we are. So Ikbin Batman and a Black Villain, the Dark Duo, the yellow team in this game. We've got Golden Edge to start us off and a Mighty Mech start. We have got the Blighting Duel for Black Villain. Presumably we're going to be seeing the heavyweight Malzahar ball coming together, and I think that seems like a very solid choice. We checked before on the double up specific meta reads, and that has been generally a pretty good option. Over on the other side, from Rodaro Bright and Marco Ketting, the Tango Dangos, potentially in position to win the tournament as well. A very, very early... Wait, is that actually a Caitlyn too? No, he just looked at... But a little aside here, I hate that the only way to tell if something's 2-star or not is based on their size, considering how many different things now change the size of a unit. Sorry, that's just a little personal rant I want to get out of the way. We do have a spatula here on a carousel. So Drafu is going to be the one to go forward and grab that for the Walls of the Eclipse. They are running Mighty Mech Mentor, which doesn't seem like an incredibly obvious place to try and fit in a spatula, but maybe they'll change things up and maybe go for something like a Soul Fighter would be an obvious choice to go instead, longer term. But we'll go and take a look at the Walls of the Eclipse's general setup. We've got the new, and I haven't really researched this properly, but the new Mentor power-up. So, Veteran, this is only available to a very small subset of units, but this allows for Katarina to become a Mentor, which means the entire team will be gaining a small amount of damage amp, and if 4 Mentor is put in place, then she will gain 35% attack damage and ability power. This is a comp I've not seen personally being played, but this is fascinating. This completely throws off my estimation of where the emblem will end up going. Potentially a Battle Academia emblem, I suppose? I don't know. I'm excited to see what Drafu has got for us. They're definitely on the bleeding edge of what's possible. But right now, their board is not so strong, and with their teammate Johnny losing as well, with what looks to be a crew sniper reroll, Team Purple are gonna be sitting back a little bit in the early going. Still though, we're getting some good sends. I do think, people were upset by the idea of having this, having the cannon in place on the bench, because it does adversely affect rerolls, especially early rerolls that fill their bench up. The counter argument to that is that being able to quite quickly send, for every 3 rounds, send a 1 cost or 2 cost that your teammate needs for their reroll to them, I think more than counteracts that kind of negative aspect of playing reroll in double up. So let's go on to the Dark Duo. In a little bit more detail, Black Villains managed to find a nice combination with the Blighting Jewel. You know, being able to shred down that magic resist faster means you're going to be able to get the free mana from the Blighting Jewel effect a little bit quicker. So the Void Staff will bring their magic resist down, and then once their magic resist hits 0, you've got the extra mana coming in. So I really like this. I think Black Villains got a very promising board, along with Igby and Batman, who I'm not quite sure what they're going for here, but I'm intrigued to find out. The Tango Dangos are looking pretty good so far. Looks like we're just building ourselves the strongest board around a Sorcerer core. And fan service is in place for Radaro. So we've seen it in the previous lobby be very heavily contested. I don't see that being the case here. So Marco, if memory serves... No, this wasn't the board I'm thinking of. So we've got 1 2-cost reroll, but it doesn't look like, unless we're going to be seeing a Lux reroll, that we're seeing a complementary 2-cost reroll from their teammate. Igby and Batman, still doing pretty good with the strongest early board, finds a very early Yuumi. The enhanced red buff might make it a little bit tempting, but we'll see what they've got in mind for us. Starting to think that maybe this could be the Malzahar heavyweight as well. Certainly Black Villain's got an incredible spot for it. Oh, right. So this could be one of the more obscure double up strategies, which is to play the same line as your teammate before you start re-rolling. So, you know, even while you're kind of contesting your teammates' units, by taking them out of the pool, you can then send them across to your teammate once you decide to pivot to something else. It's an interesting strategy. It does have some obvious downsides of potentially making your teammate weaker, but it leaves you in control of a larger amount of those units in the pool. But so far, so good. I mean, the yellow team do take a loss off the previous one. The Tango Dangos are looking very good indeed. The fan service board is definitely coming together pretty well as our second golden augment will land. I want to look at some of these other boards coming in. Drafuru definitely has the most interesting setup. The Mentor is... So I suppose the big thing here for the Mentor is that you can get it in much earlier. So we just need the single Udyr and then we'd have Mentor 4. So... yeah, we've got the Jarvan, which would be huge. I'd imagine Drafuru is going to be... I don't know the construction of this composition fully, but I'd imagine Drafuru probably wants to get to 7 and reroll from there, just to be able to activate the 4 Mentor as well. We'll see. I like having the Seeker's Arm Guard on the Katarina as well. We'll see. Oh yes, no, good shout, Martinism. We have got the Sorcerer emblem. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to... I mean, Sorcerer would be okay. Battle Academia would seem like it would enable a Katarina quite a lot, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Drafuru is getting a win, so that's good enough. And Nightcore, their teammate, I think might be... yeah, I think it's going to be able to sneak out a win as well. So good news for Team Pink, they turned the corner. Reigning champions, the Sensations, will both take a loss off the previous round. So we're starting to see a little bit of a separation building up. Team Pink down to 60 HP. The Tango Dangos in first place, keeping their win streak going. And the teams in the middle starting to feel a little bit of the heat from them. So Shelby Sensation, I think we're seeing what I presume to be an Ash Juggernaut board, based just on the itemization of the units we've got in place right now. We are level 6, so we're kind of awkwardly sitting in maybe some of a late game board or some of an early game board, and I think it's starting to fall off in terms of power. Full Juggernaut is okay, but not ideal. Marco? I'm still not fully following what they're doing. They're saving up a lot of gold, and I don't think it's a Lux reroll based on what we've got item-wise. So maybe just going to try and push further forward. and pick up the AP late game. I really do like that we've got a couple of procs coming in from the Mogul's Mail per round, so a lot of money in the bank. Marco, I think, being really propped up by how strong Ridaro is. We talked about before that they weren't going for a paired 2-cost reroll across the team. It looks like Ridaro is the player currently holding down the fort here in the mid game, while Marco tries to build towards something much longer term. I'm trying to think of what we would be looking at in terms of AP side of things. I mean, Rise, sure. In terms of extreme late game boards, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. Maybe Crystal Gambit, but certainly, in terms of late game power, I'm thinking more Varus. I don't know. Well, there's some other folks in the chat. Let me know if you can figure out what Marco is going for, because obviously we're in some kind of AP line, but it's not fully locked in as of yet. Yeah, we've got our AP caster. I mean, I could see this being a Zyra. I wonder if we're just going for a legendary suit board. That would make sense if we're just gonna just throw in as much generically strong stuff and use our massive bank balance and Ridaro's stability to not really need to spend too much money on re-rolling or really doing anything with our board. Just ride out the rest of the wave as long as we can. If we can do it one more time, Drafu did go up to level 7 as we thought might be the case, which means that I presume, yes, we've got the 4 mentor online. I see that the tooltip hasn't been updated to include the extra mentor, but that's going to be, again, as we check the veteran, that's 4% damage amp and across all of the mentors, and then the extra huge amount of ability power in place, especially if this Katarina gets enough shots through and kills enough units. She becomes functionally invincible. So I'm excited to see what Drafu can do with this one. I think we do see on the bench we've got the Rakan, so I think that might be that we are going to try and fish for the Battle Academia, which memory is failing me, and that's the tier that will be needed from Drafu. If that does happen, the Katarina will be significantly stronger. Oh, Martism, yeah, that's a good shout on what Marco could be going for. This could ultimately, if we see Kennen being picked up, yeah, the Akali being thrown in, so we are in a lobby which is running the, let's see if I can find it again. Sorry, there we go. Black Villain is running Supreme Cell, but Akali, yeah, that's a good shout. I completely forgot that as a potential option for an AP out. Not an out that necessarily people will be super thrilled to have, but Executioner Vertical? Ugh, I don't know. But I think Martin, I think you might be right about what Marco is going for. I'm not a huge fan, but needs must, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if it is Legendary Soup, it could just be more of a flex. As Marco will take a loss, I think the rest of the lobby is starting to catch up, and because Marco is holding a lot of money, and Ridaro's not winning rounds, in fact, not winning rounds fast enough, not winning rounds at all. We can see Ridaro is in a little bit of a power slump. We've got the 2 duplicators on the side. So Ridaro will be making a huge leap forward in power once those 2 3-stars are in place, and we'll be able to prop up Marco again. But for the last couple of rounds, it looks like the overall lobby power has been too much to allow for Ridaro to keep on carrying the squad. Still, their HP is good enough for the time being. The Sensations, though, have had a chance to catch back up. The Kaiser still got 1 duplicator left in a tank, and the Kaiser is already locked down. So Darius 3, much more possible. Oh, wait, hold the phone on that one. Interesting. We don't have any Darius at all. Of course, remember, we've got the Darius Malzahar reroll in this lobby, so maybe Steve's Sensation is just not going to bother with that at all, and instead just try and chuck in as much other stuff as you can throw in. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, we're doing the Monster Trainer variation where we're just re-rolling around the 3 costs instead. Makes a lot of sense. I think it'll be totally fine. Black Villain on the other side, we with the player, of course, who's making it impossible to realistically go for any serious amount of Darii. But, I mean, Rammus still fulfills the same function. What will be missing from Shelby's board is having Darius as a secondary damage source, though. Still, Kaiser 3 is good enough for the time being, so the Sensations get themselves even further off to the races. The Reinforce is good, and that will take down the Mentor board as well. Team P taking both losses as the Dark Duo do the same. They're down to 52 and 42 respectively. This is lobby 1. For every team in the lobby, they are really looking for that first place win. The advantage the Sensations have coming in with a 2-round first place streak is if they go second place, I think they've still got a chance to win on tiebreakers or at least come in second overall, which is the same prize to be fair. But I imagine they are going to be working very hard to try and get back-to-back tournament wins. Let's check in on the Mentor board. So, Katarina 3 not quite there. We did ultimately go for the Executioner element, which I do not hate at all. The Martinism, that question did get answered. I think probably then was waiting for a Reforger. Katarina 3 in play, as we mentioned before. Once Katarina gets going, she's completely nightmarish. And now she's going to have a little bit more power from where I presume the Executioner element. There we go. Gets slammed in. We're at Executioner 4. And as soon as Katarina gets 1 or 2 kills in, she becomes invincible. She doesn't necessarily do an absolutely massive amount of damage, but I think she's going to be good enough. And there we go. I do want to take a check at... Let's see, whose board is this? This is the... What's that Night Called Johnny's board we were saying just there? I think that was the only Gnar player we're likely to have. We do get the... Sorry, we do get Varus being sent across to activate Sniper 4. So we've got the reroll coming in every round. We've got Piercing Sight, Overheal as well. So all Night Called Johnny really needs to do is get the item... Is it... Sorry. Oh, my mistake. I thought that was a Jhin 3, but actually it's just a Jhin 2, and in a board that's so heavily focused around DPS, this may not be good enough. Oh, that's right, Ikbeam Batman is actually running the Gnar... It's not a Gnar reroll. I don't know what Ikbeam Batman is up to, but they've been separately in the same space for a while. Night Called Johnny, I think, should be good enough to get this particular one. Ikbeam Batman, I assume, is planning to switch to something else as we go, but I'm not completely clear on what it is right now. Katarina Mentor continues to be nightmarishly strong. Let's see. So yes, Shelby Sensation ultimately did go in for the Ashe Duelist board, the terror of the previous setup, or the previous patch. Looks like Colossal is not getting taken anymore, so that Udyr is no longer completely unkillable, but standalone is being used, yeah, as effectively a substitute. I suppose the only problem with playing boards like with the verticals like we've got here, where we've got a lot of chaff units in the Duelist, is that the Katarina is going to be able to come through, delete all those chaff units, and become very strong very quickly. So Shelby Sensation is going to be careful of all of these. Also, I love using this as a highlight. All of these, weak units don't just walk up and immediately feed themselves into the cavernous maw of Katarina. In terms of the overall field, we've got the Dark Duo and lowest HP total right now, as I think we finally get to see what Ikbeam Batman's been building towards. You've got to change out your items to the Twisted Fate. For this round, it's a little bit awkward that we don't have the full capacity. But, alright, Ikbeam Batman, the legendary soup is coming online. This will be the first round Twisted Fate gets played. And the Golden Edge has been in place for this entire game. I honestly don't hate that as just an economic vehicle, especially with Gnar, who can provide his own attack speed. The problem is you are playing a unit that is purely there for economic purposes. So Ikemen Batman takes a loss, Black Villain takes a loss as well. The Dark Duo need a first in this lobby. And while they are running very interesting boards, I worry it may not be enough. Black Villain gets the second Poppy, finds the upgrade. That's absolutely massive. The entire board lives or dies on whether this Poppy can buy enough time. We're one away from finding Darius 3 as well. Would be an amazing secondary damage source, but you don't have the actual itemization for him yet. Team Yellow needs a little bit more time to work with, but Radaro is there with the fully completed fan service board. We've got the Tesla Coil in place as well for a little bit more damage. I don't know if it's good enough. Black Villain, I mean, you know, with enough time, we should be able to burn down that Rakan with the Blighting Jewel. And with the reinforcements arriving, that's going to put enough bodies in place, I think, to turn this one, and it will. Big day. Big moment for the Yellow Squad. The Dark Duo, they get their wins. And also Team Pink, Nightcore Johnny and Drafu. The Wolves of the Eclipse also got a win off the previous round, so still no Jin 3. At this point, I wouldn't hate just seeing the Varus being brought in instead. See, so we've gone for Bludgeoner, yeah, because we don't have any armor penetration otherwise. Drafu on the other side. We've got the Mentor board, which is really fascinating. Still at level 7. I'd love to see this get up to level 8 and maybe throw in a 5th Executioner for maximal damage and get that Rise update upgraded as well. I like what Drafu's got going on. Let's see what the other folks have got to remind ourselves. So Marco has ended up in the vertical Soul Fighter after just getting piles and piles of cash from before. Don't hate it at all. Looking for the Samira upgrade, one away from that. I think we're maybe going to roll a little bit further and see if we can find it. It would be a massive uptick in damage. Alright, that's the upgraded Braum. Came out a little bit too late. Radaro should be good enough. Up against Stevie Sensation, the Kaiser board has been stacking for a very, very long time. More or less infinite attack damage, which means your front line has to be very good. Keep an eye out for if the Samira ends up dashing in at a time when Kaiser is casting, because that will kill her stone dead. And this time, it didn't actually happen. But I'm a little worried for Marco that the money may not be there to get the Samira 2 online before things get too far out of control. Still though, 2-star Braum is plenty good. A little bit more rolling, as Johnny does hit Jin 3. So Team Pink, they're stepping up on their power, going up to level 8. And also, let's see. So yes, we've got 5 Mighty Mech rather than the Executioner. So we're missing, we're missing the Akali or potentially going back to Callista. Don't have the Rise upgrade, so this board's not as strong as it could be. But Johnny should be able to step up. Now we've got the Varus in place with the blue buff and the red buff. And Jin 3, this board is a lot stronger. Artistic KO coming in as well as a power up. Johnny should be able to carry the squad. Over on the other side, I believe Marco has found the upgrade for the Samira they were looking for. So this board will be a ton stronger. Again, keep a close eye on where that Samira goes. And if she gets herself into trouble, this time she avoids the brunt of the offensive push. A second cast, I think, won't quite be good enough to get the win. And Marco being pushed out. But Johnny, while winning that round for their squad, Drafu does not. The Mentor board is still not fully online. But we are gifting Tactician's capes. So we are going to be having a further injection of power across the field. That means Sniper 5 online. That's huge for Nightcore Johnny. You can see there's not enough money in the bank to realistically ever go up levels and get that otherwise. Drafu gets the upgrade on the Jarvan. We've got the Executioner being changed over to Lee Sin as well. And that's Executioner 5 on the field, thanks to the extra bodies on the board. Rise still not being fine. I'm not sure if Drafu's gonna be strong enough. Yeah, we're gonna make the... Oh, interesting. We're gonna make the Karma the Executioner. Alright, I'm there for it. Rise just gonna be used for utility instead. TV Sensation, though, is so strong. Katarina does not play well against the Kai'Sa board because she is putting herself in aggro range of the Kai'Sa immediately. So that means she will get deleted. I don't think there's any way for for this to ever be a good matchup. Johnny does win, Drafu loses. We're having a battle of who can get into third place because the blue team are also low on HP. But I don't think Drafu ever wins that matchup. Modlism, hard to carry Samira late game with flat damage and not crit. Yeah, we'll have a look at the board again because I didn't even pick up on that, but it doesn't feel that the damage is really there for Drafu, and I don't think time is going to allow for it. I wonder if there's a world in which you just use Katarina's veteran idea as just filler rather than re-rolling for her. In this instance, it seems fine, but it's delaying you getting to the very late game, which is less than ideal. Oh, interesting. We're switching again. Executioner Yone will be coming in. We'll have, okay, Hysterics in place as well, and I presume Archangel's going back onto the Rise. Drafu surely needs to spend the money to try and fish the Rise upgrade. If that is going to be the case, Yone is going to do his best as the Executioner, but we might see the pink team going down to 1 HP with money left in the bank. This is one of the sensations up the top with a legendary board. The Duelist being added into the Crystal Gambit as well. So we've got the Ashe firing out of the corner of the board. Infinite damage means that Yone will not be able to stand up. Though Katarina does actually scale up enough, so I'll eat my words. Blue team take the loss on both of their rounds, so they are down to Elimination Station. Our first elimination is on the cards. Ooh. Ridaro finds the 3-star Nico not as major an upgrade as it might be otherwise. Itemization's looking pretty solid. Marco, the 6 Soul Fighter, I'd imagine the 8 Soul Fighter would be ideal. But I suppose the unit quality of bringing in the 2-star Braum is too much to ignore. We've also got the Volibear for a little bit of extra attack speed for our Samira friend. Marco, I think the player most likely to lose here, really needs some reinforcement from their buddy up against Drafu. This will be huge if the Tango Dangos can win this round, but the Katarina is huge. The reinforcements are coming. There's no help forthcoming for Marco, and even if Ridaro wins their round, which they don't, the Tango Dangos out in 4th means they have no chance now to claim the crown. Whew. Alright, more coffee. Wow. Let's take a quick look through the rest of the field because the HP totals are very low indeed. The heavyweight Malzahar board has taken the lead, a 6-round win streak. All these upgrades, and especially Darius 3 coming in, and we're about to, I suspect, find a Darius item. Interesting, we've also got the we've got the Seraphine coming in because of the extra slot allowed for by the Tactician's Cape. The cape, right? Yeah. It's one of those things that doesn't come up very often, so I didn't bother to memorize it. But we're getting more prodigies in place, so this board is picking up more power. Ich bin Batman with the Juggernaut Twisted Fate board, really fascinating. We've got the Zara in place as well. So a lot of meat and a couple of backliners. The sensations, we've got the Kai'Sa with 130% attack damage. That's very, very nice. But we don't really have a secondary carry up against Johnny in this round. This will be big. It looks like on the other side that Johnny's got a really good backline set up with, 2.5 backliners. But this Kai'Sa is probably worth 2 backliners by herself. We have got a little bit of itemization on the Darius. He's not a 3-star, I believe. Johnny will not have enough frontline though to deny the raw power of the Kaiser. The pink team take losses on both their players. Purple team, the Sensations, take losses on one, which means that the dark duo of Black Villain and Ikmi Batman, coming in as the lowest points players of this lobby, are teed up to potentially win the lobby overall. If that happens, they will move up, I believe, into first place. They're currently on 13. I know, onto 14. I don't know, I'll figure out when it's all said and done. The only thing I know for certain is if the Sensations win, they win the entire thing. Let's keep swapping it back and forth between these two. So in this case, I think this particular round is 1. Though I think it could also swing quite quickly as well. Let's check out the other Sensation. That's a good one. So both win. And no! We do have an elimination. Drafu and Nightcore Johnny, the Wolves of the Eclipse. They are out as well. So our highest points earners and our lowest points earners are the ones left standing here in Lobby 1. Woo! For the Wolves of the Eclipse, they really need the first place to push their placement further. For Steve and Shelby Sensation, they cannot afford to lose a single round, but upgrades are flowing like water. Black Villain will find the Jace 3 as well. As we mentioned before, we were waiting for the itemization to arrive for the Darius, so Black Villain's board power is a significant step stronger. I'd love to see a movement of the spear onto that Darius as well, but it doesn't happen. CB Sensation will be on the other side, facing up against the heavyweight board, and there could be no more heavyweights in this competition than our reigning champions. I think in this case, the raw DPS is gonna be good enough. So that's one side of the equation. The other side is no good. And the Sensations are out. The Wolves of the Eclipse take the final lobby. And we'll have to wait for the final points totals to arrive. What we do know for certain is that means that there will be no clean sweep overall. I believe, though, with the 2 first places coming into this, let's pull up our scoreboard. Assuming this one is still loaded. Yes. And get this trimmed a little bit so you guys can see it all as clearly as possible. That's because, and this would only happen if we saw Wolves of the Eclipse win the previous lobby. We said right back at the beginning, you know, if the Dark Duo or the Tango Dangos won that lobby, then they would be challenging for first place. But if Wolves of the Eclipse came in first, they take points away from those 2 teams and therefore open up the door for the others. And it looks like ultimately the Dark Duo, because they end up with slightly more points overall with second and first place, will ultimately take second overall, with the Sensations still conquering in first place. Woo. Oh boy. I'm going to see, we've talked to them before. I'll see if the Sensations are willing to talk to us again. I think that's the right one. Ooh. I think, honestly, that was a little bit of a lucky escape for the Sensations. That last lobby was absolutely nuts. We were waiting on the final results to come in. But we'll get the Sensations on to talk to us a little bit about that competition and, oh boy, what it means for them to be back-to-back champions. Alright, there they are. I'm just going to drag them in. All the way from us. Shelby, Steve, welcome back to the stream. You are back-to-back champions, but oh boy, that last game, that couldn't have been closer.
Yeah, hey again. Yeah, that last game was so close, and all the players were so good as well. So, yeah, it was a really exciting game.
Well, talk to us about how that, what was kind of going on for you guys during that last game. How did you kind of come into that one, knowing that you were the favorites to win the entire thing and potentially clean sweep the entire competition?
Did you want to take this one, Zay? Shelby?
No, you go for it. I was just thinking we were dead the whole time, honestly. I was having a rough game.
Aww.
Yeah, because normally since it's a 3-round tourney, whoever wins the last lobby normally wins it. I think in this one especially, since people were normally like 1 or 2 points apart, except for the team that beat us in that final lobby, the Dark Duo. I think they were 2 points behind us, so if we were to come second, then they were the team that we needed to lose to. So very fortunate that happened.
Well, I mean, to bring us out to the... actually, no, before we move out to the bigger picture stuff, can you tell us, what did you kind of think of the other teams you're playing against? So the Dark Duo, Life for Learner, Nick being Batman, Wolves of the Eclipse, Nightcore Johnny, Andrafi, and the Tango Dangos, Marco and Ridaro. Any moments or anything about their play which stands out to you from that previous game, or indeed any of the other games you played against them?
Yeah, we versed the Tango Dangos in the first round, and like every other tournament we play in these, they're so good. Wolves of the Eclipse we versed the round before this one as well. They also came second. And the Dark Duo, I think, came second in the last tourney we played here as well. So it was like a star-studded lobby. Yeah, everyone's really good, and they're really good at identifying the really strong reroll spots right now, like Zaya and Callista, like all the other rerolls. It was really hard tourney.
Well, I'm sure I've asked you this before, but my memory is absolutely terrible, so apologies to ask it again. Can you tell us a little bit about your... Well, firstly, what is it you feel like as a team that you're doing to be able to win back-to-back tournaments, considering, as you said, how competitive it is?
Well, I'll let you take this one, Shelby. That's a hard one.
Honestly, we've been a bit lucky. You always need a little bit of luck. We play. We don't do many 1v1s. Singles, sorry. We do a lot of double up. And I think the game modes are different enough that some of the fundamentals are a little bit different, I think.
Which fundamental do you think is the most important?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Sorry, were you saying the fundamentals are different? Which do you feel like is the most important for other players to take account of?
I think the way the items work and the items trading, you want to try and get like your best of slot carry really quickly, and you got to build a comp around like you got to think what your allies playing, what you're playing, and like match the components so you can both get your carry online like as fast as possible. That's just something you don't really have to worry about when you play singles.
Yeah, that's something we did in our last game as well. So Shelby went duelist with Ash, which uses a lot of bows and rods and cloaks for Rageblade, Kraken, even Giant Slayer. But meanwhile, I went Kaisen that uses swords and gloves, which they don't normally use in the Ash build. So it was two builds that mesh well together.
Yeah, I mean actually that reminds me. I think there was. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there was a post I saw go out on Reddit recently. I think, let me see if I can find it quickly. Which was, talking about the idea of not clashing with your teammate or trying to find complementary lines. Let's see if I can find it. I think it was...
Yeah, I saw that one as well. Yeah, that's a really good helpful post.
Apparently it's gone a little bit further down in the listing than I thought. I will post it if I can find it. Okay, no, maybe I missed it in the list of things, but I think it's competitive duos or something similar to that. Oh, there we go. TFTdoubleup.com, which is a great great URL for that. I'll drop it in the chat at the moment. If any of you guys watching would like to use that as just a way to push your double up play, because I think you're right. It feels like it's nuanced the kind of things that you need to do to really make your double up team sing. Sorry, a little bit of a random question. You may well not have an answer to this, but are you guys aware of any other double up competitions going on? Because I am not myself, but I was wondering if you as double up aficionados might have a wider net.
As of right now, I don't think so. There's I know there's a competition maker called he has something called the Boys League, BOYES.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know there's like some professional players in that one. We didn't join that one though because it's more of like a circuit tournament, whereas like something like your one's just so accessible and is a bit more casual.
Okay, well, I mean, that's worth knowing. Like, certainly you've been able to make a huge impact here overall. This time I won't torture you with making you do the Wheel of Name stuff. I'll just bang through that as quickly as I possibly can. But is there any last thoughts you'd like to leave your other competitors with and the folks watching as you crown yourselves back-to-back champions?
Yes, we wanted to give a shout out to our good real life friend Patrick, who was watching us on share screen, and I'm sure he had a good time as well.
Nice one,
There
Patrick.
definitely shouts to Pat.
All right, Patrick and Matt, congratulations on having such incredibly successful friends. Shelby and Steve, the sensations. Congratulations once more. I'll drop you guys out of here and get everything cleaned up on the stream. But again, congratulations, back-to-back winners. An incredible performance.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for continuing to run these tourneys.
All right. All right. So, guys, we're going to do our final bits and pieces to get everything wrapped up here. So, just going to move everything across and get the Wheel of Names up and running. Whoop. Oh gosh, that does not like being... Alright, I guess it works either way. So let's just tag up everyone in the tournament. Let's see, so we've got Steve and Shelby Sensation are our winners. Back to back. And then from our results page, we've got the Dark Duo, Black Villain, and Ick being Batman. And Ick being Batman. Our second place team. Oh, someone's peeing me. Just gonna check. Okay, phew. I was just checking. It wasn't that someone had accidentally done something they shouldn't have been. Alright, so in this case, the prize structure is a little bit different because we need to give prizes to each member of the team. So there's prizes for, let's see, I believe, so 5 teams total, including the winning team. So 3 more teams, thanks to Northern Legends as well for helping support the prize pool. Do please go check them out. And of course, they've got their Manchester event coming up later on this month. So we will have 3 more random teams come in as our winners. First of all, that will be the Straight 8 Squad. Congratulations, Straight 8 Squad. That's going to be Obisky and Sungod. Congratulations. Let's see, so first random. Sorry, Oreo Bisky and Sungod. I'll be sending these out by DM. Okay, let's remove that. Next one. I know that there are some teams in here sort of double times, but that won't be applied for the purposes of winning the prizes. So Ink Yester and Cami, congratulations as well. Cami. And our last giveaway will be to our random team. I like birds. And that is Just Falk and Ace. Congratulations. And Ace, that's Safachiro and TB Forecast. Codes will be coming out over next week. Ooh. And let's see, double up, double bodies. The next tournament will be in a couple of weeks' time, and it will be solos. I am going to look into the situation with the double up and the not being able to join the lobbies, because I did not know that was the case until today. In 2 weeks is a solos tournament. So I'm going to see if there can be anything done about that. I suspect in the short term there can't be, so I think what I'll do instead is I'll make the next couple of tournament, or at least the next tournament will be a solos tournament. I'll see if anything can be done about that, or if we just need to tell people that if they want to play outside of the EU West, that they need to start and, you know, surrender a bunch of games to get that one doing. That's really frustrating. I do apologize. I did see there was quite lengthy feedback from Rex Blank, which is absolutely justified. Though I think there's I don't know if Rex Blank is still watching, but if you are, thank you for your very detailed feedback. I will be following up on that once I've got the spare brain to be able to actively read and understand everything that's being said. Cool, but for now, let's go and see if any of our friends are streaming. And if we can go and chuck on the roster, let's see, Dignitas, Akram. Oh. If you'd like to learn from someone who's an exceptional player, you could do a lot worse than... Raid. HMoon76. This is Blast at Moon, one of the greatest UK TFT players, and very much an ongoing concern, playing in the TFT Pro circuit for the UK. So please to go check him out. Support him, really nice guy as well. For now, we'll be back in 2 weeks for the next solos competition. Again, congratulations on the sensations for back-to-back tournament wins, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time.